Hello folks, I'm Stan, WB2LQF. I've been a ham since 1963. That's 57 years, and it's been all CW. I also am a former Navy radio man, and I hold a second-class radio telegraph operator certificate. So I guess you could say that I'm in love with CW. When it comes to Morse code, I'm partial to bugs. To me, nothing sounds sweeter than the sound of well-sent code. Besides, when you use a bug, you got that opportunity to put a little personality, a little individuality into your sending, something you can't do with a paddle. I've owned many bugs over the years, old bugs and new bugs. Some that come to mind include Vibroplex, of course, Frattini's J36, Begali's high-speed bug, and probably the best thing that I ever owned was a 1938B McElroy, an 80-year-old key that, boy, could that key put out some CW. I've also owned BizKey's right angle bug as well as their vertical. And I've owned a few more that I probably have left out and can't quite remember what they were. Basically, I've never met a bug I didn't like, although some I found were easier to use than others. But look at what is in the picture here. I've taken a special interest in this. It's a new bug. It's called the DL-150, and it's put out by KN4YB, Tom. It's completely handmade by Tom, who's a professional machinist. And all I can say, folks, is he has managed to get it all right with this bug. He has hit it out of the ballpark. Let me add that I'm not related to Tom. I met him one day on the high end of 40 meters, around 7122 or so, sending code. And he had a good fist, and we had a nice conversation. And we were talking about keys, and I found out that he built them. So I bought a paddle from him, and it was fabulous. And then I bought an inline bug. No, I'm sorry, I bought a right angle bug from him. And it was an earlier version, different construction. And I like that very much too. But I gotta say that this DL-150, his latest and greatest creation, I'd rate it a 10 out of 10 any day of the week. The key's fabulous. Here's a KN4YB key as it arrives. It's very well packed with pieces of styrofoam. Okay. Got to do a little assembly work, but that's not all bad. We've got a parts package here. Includes the finger pieces, the weights, the machine screws, and all we got to do is put it together, adjust it, tighten it up, try it out. Okay, I got it together here on the kitchen counter. Tom nicely supplies all the adjusting hex wrenches that you need and an extra weight. So you got a total of 3 weights. I had to come up with my own 1/4 inch open end wrench for this nut down here. Okay, and also I determined that I really had to remove this, which is easy. Just use one of those hex wrenches over here underneath, take this off, and then you can more easily get these bolts into the finger piece, the thumb piece here. Okay. Then all you got to do is slip on the extension arm if you so desire. Okay. That moves back and forth. All right. Set your weights, and now we're going to go try it out. First impression is it's a beautifully made key with his signature KN4YB and the date of manufacture on the bottom. It's very nicely routed, the wiring here on the bottom. Everything was nice and secure. A beautiful finish. No extra tool marks. Looks like a real quality job, sort of job I've come to expect from Tom. I've had a couple of his other keys, a bug and a paddle, and I'm always amazed and impressed with the workmanship that the individual people, the abilities that certain people have to work with metal in a home workshop and turn out such nice and nicely operating and nice to look at pieces of amateur radio equipment. So we got her together. Now we'll try it out. By the way, it comes all pre-wired with a what is this thing? A 1/8 inch stereo plug. Okay, all set to go here. Okay, so what's so special about the DL-150 bug? Well, I could think of 10 points right off the bat. Number one, it's the kind of a bug that's great for a new as well as an older ham. It's darn easy to adjust out of the box. Show you that a little later. Number two, it is extremely quiet in operation. Number three, no scratchy dits. Number four, it has a really comfortable wide speed range, from 9 words a minute to 40 words a minute. Number five, it forms stable dits. That's stable dit formation across the entire speed range of 9 to 40 words a minute. Number six, at least myself, I find it more accurate to form Morse characters with the dual finger pieces. Number seven, it's got greatly simplified mechanical construction. Number eight, you can maintain and repair this bug all by yourself. In fact, he includes all the wrenches. With the shipment of the key, all you need additionally is a 1/4 inch open end wrench. Number nine, it's a smaller sized key, takes up less deck space. Number 10, as you can see, it's a right angled bug. That inherently makes it more stable than an inline key. And that, folks, is just plain physics. As I said, I've taken a special interest in this key because I love CW and I really love helping people, new people, people perhaps who haven't tried it before, to get into CW. I think it's a fabulous mode, a historic mode, and a bug like this is excellent for a new person as well as an older guy like me. So let's examine some of these merits in greater detail. If it sounds like I'm trying to sell this key, yeah, I sure am, because this is the first key in a long time, perhaps ever, that's really hit me as the kind of a key that a newbie would be able to sit down and send code with it in a very short period of time and not get frustrated and go off and find something better to do, or pick up the microphone and start talking on the radio again. Heck, I don't even own a microphone. Okay, number one, we said that it was great for new hams as well as old hams and that it was easy to adjust. Sure was. All you got to do when you get it out of the box and you've mounted the finger pieces is unloosen this and this and this and this here, okay, and back out the dit contact, back out these, back this out, all right, and then the first thing you want to do is screw this down until, by the way, this easily moves, okay? screw that down until it just touches the vibrating arm. Okay? Next thing you might want to do to get going, get yourself an index card, fold it in half, alright? And then put it down here in the DIT contact, alright? Tighten that up, lock it in place, do the same thing for the DA contact, okay? That's your spacing. And then tighten this DIT contact up, alright, till you get yourself a decent string of dits. You don't need 40 or 50 dits. You need at least 8 because that's CW for an error signal. But at some point it's going to go to a solid tone, and that's what you're looking for. Okay? That's how easy it is to adjust this bug. Compared to the many steps you've got to go through with a standard inline bug such as a vibroplex, this is as easy as pie. Okay, point number 2 is quiet operation. Look over here in the damper arm. Okay? Now listen. Listen over here. You can hardly hear anything. You don't hear that clacking that you hear with Vibroplex, for example. Now don't get me wrong, I love Vibroplex. They're a great company. It's a historic company. They've been in business over 100 years. But let's face it, folks, their bugs clack. They clack a lot. Most of them do. This is quiet as can be, and it doesn't even need a rubber or a vinyl damper, which you don't need it. Quiet key. That means you can concentrate more on sending CW rather than getting annoyed by the sound of a clacking bug. That turns a lot of people off. Point number 3, no scratchy dits. This flat spring here, the secondary spring, we consider that this one in here, which gives you your tension adjustment for how you want the finger pieces to feel. Okay, that's your tension adjustment. We consider that the primary spring. That's a secondary spring then. That's been designed in whatever interesting way Tom designs his keys to minimize contact bounce, so you don't get scratchy dits. Look at that. So you don't need a bug de-scratcher. You don't have to stuff a piece of foam in the middle of the flat spring and adjust it and try to figure out. You don't have to go and buy one of those some kind of a manual de-scratcher. I forget who puts it out now. That people with Vibroplexes frequently purchase, trying to keep the contact bounce down. There is none. Simple as that. Okay, I think point number 4 was we have a wide speed range of 9 to 40 words a minute. I personally verified this using my my paddle. Right now, as you see this set up with the extension arm on, okay, and one weight back here and one over here, this is 18 words a minute. There's 18 words a minute. Alright? Now, what we're going to do is put another weight on over here and move this one right up next to it. Alright? Now we got 13 words a minute. No sloppy dits there. There's 13 words a minute. let's bring this all the way out with both weights on. By the way, remember, Tom supplies all 3 weights. That's standard. Here's 9 words a minute. Okay? Now, you want to go fast? Want to go 40 words a minute? Here's what we do. Let's take the extension arm off. Put 1 weight on here. Alright? Here's 40 words a minute. I can't send 40 words a minute very well, so I'm not even going to try. But let's swing right into point number 5. Have you noticed that as I've changed the speed, I haven't had to readjust the dit contact? See that? Let's go back to where we were now. Let's go all the way down to 9 words a minute. Alright, now we're at 9 words a minute again. How do you like that? Let's go to 18 words a minute here. Try that with your Vibroplex bug. You don't have to readjust the dits when you change speed. That is so nice when you are operating. It's so nice when you're operating and you need to slow down or speed up, not to have to worry about that adjustment. Okay. Point number 6 was, at least for me, I find that I'm a much more accurate keyer on a bug when I've got the dual finger pieces. This is your dit finger piece. Here's your da finger piece. Alright? Unlike a single finger piece bug, a standard bug, I don't have to go from da all the way over to dit or dit all the way over to da. And an additional advantage to those of you who do that iambic stuff is if you want to make something like a U or a B or a 4, you can do that. Sort of squeeze key. Okay? I also like the spacing that Tom has put here on his bug. All right. Number 7 was simplified mechanical construction. Well, come on, stop that. There you go. This spring controls the tension. That adjusts how hard or soft your keying is. And then you got a flat spring over here. There's a spring here, okay, on the damper. It looks like most of the hardware is, I think, 3/8 hardware. Uses lock nuts on the bottom. It's just a beautiful, simple construction, okay, all brass, of course. And he includes enough all the wrenches you need except for that 1/4 inch open end, which you need to put this nut on right here. Okay? You could take this thing apart easily and refinish the base if you wanted to and put it right back together again, and it'd work just as well as when you bought it. So number 8 was, the point I tried to make. You can maintain this key. When you buy it, it's yours for life. There's not much here that you'd have to send out for. Even the bearings. Did I mention that he uses nice bearings? They're the standard F685, a very popular type of bearing. You can pick those up on the internet or at probably the local hardware store too, if you ever needed to replace the bearings. It's a smaller size key. Here's my Arizona Scorpion paddle next to this key. Believe me, this is a tiny little key. This is like a 2 inch by 2 inches right here. Alright, so I don't know exactly, I don't have a ruler handy, but that looks like 2 inches, 4 inches. That looks like about 5 inches across, and it looks like it might be about maybe 2.5 inches. So my guess is it's about 5.5 by 2, the footprint. Alright, certainly doesn't take up a whole lot of room on a desk. It's a handsome key. It's nice looking too. Finally, number 10, the last point I'd like to make is that this is a right angle key. It's more stable than an inline key. You're exerting forces this way rather than this way and moving it all over. My proof, you don't see any anti-skid pad underneath here. That's just my polished wood desk. Oh, by the way, these are nice soft vinyl, nice soft vinyl rubber feet. You can easily replace them if you wanted to, but they make it for a very, very stable key. So I'm really, really happy with this baby. It's just everything I could hope for in a bug, and it's going to become my primary key, that's for sure.